Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today I have Louie with me, and on today's video we're going to do a swag wreath. One of my favorite types of swag wreaths to do is to use a 5-gallon stir stick. It's not as long as a yardstick, which is just too long to do as a wreath, but this works perfect. It makes gorgeous wreaths or swags or even centerpieces. The nice thing about these stir sticks is they're pretty cheap if you're going to buy them. I bought a pack of 3 for $1.99. Maybe they're up by the time you're watching this video, but still it's going to be on the cheaper side, and it's a perfect size. And I'm going to be using some warm natural fall colors. Let's get started. Let's go over the supplies we're going to use. Everything you see here is from the Dollar Tree, except for, of course, my 5-gallon stir stick and my pipe cleaners, but Dollar Tree also has pipe cleaners, so that really doesn't matter. Starting off with the Deco mesh, I'm actually going to be using Dollar Tree Deco mesh today. Next, you're going to need some pipe cleaners. Then for the ribbon, I'm going to be using this plaid ribbon, and this is just some orange ribbon that I'm going to replace this bow with because I kind of don't like it. Then I'm going to be using one of my favorites, the mesh ribbon, to decorate our swag wreath. I'm going to be using 1 bushel, some berries throughout. Very nice. For the center of the swag wreath, I'm going to be using this beautiful sign, and it's 8 inches by 13.5 in height. Then, of course, a 5-gallon stir stick, a little bit of jute cord, and some scrap felt pieces. Before we get started on the swag itself, if you're going to use this as a centerpiece, skip this part. But if you're going to hang it, here's how I'm going to do it today. I'm actually going to use a jute cord. Usually I use a floral wire and I make a loop. Some people drill a hole. Not everyone has access to power tools, so I like to give options that are just a little different. Grabbing a piece of jute cord, it's about 25 inches in length. You're not going to need the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little loop, and I'm going to have a short tail that's about 6 inches and a longer tail. And now I'm going to make my loop and just make it really tight. This is not going to go anywhere. I'm going to start in the back because that's where my loop is going to be. I like to use the front where the measurements are when I'm attaching my pipe cleaners. While holding my finger, I'm going to make a knot. It's nice and tight, so I'm just going to twist it around one more time, make another knot. For extra measure, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue it. A little bit of hot glue right on the jute cord, a piece of scrap felt. I really like the way this hook turned out. Very simple, jute cord, make a knot, wrap it around, hot glue it in the front or the top, and that's it. For those wondering where my tiny helper is, he is sleeping while I'm making this wreath. He's a little baby, he sleeps a lot. All right, let's attach the pipe cleaners. What we're going to do is we're going to have 3 sets of 2 and then 2 singles. So we're going to do double, double, and double. So 3 doubles and 2 singles in between those. When using one of these stir sticks, they usually have a little ruler that goes up to 15, and the actual length is 21 inches. The center is at 10.5 inches, so that is where we're going to start. So first, I'm going to find my center, and I'm going to tie my pipe cleaner to one of the sides. The second pipe cleaner, I'm going to find my center, going the other way, and then we're going to twist. Just like that, one going one way, the other going the other way, and I twist it on the sides. The next double set is going to be 2.5 inches from the bottom to the side, and tie it at the side. The other one. The double on the top is going to be right below the narrowest area right here, right where you have your hanging loop, or you could just measure 2.5 inches. But I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to do 2 twists. And then all that's left is 2 singles right in the center of these. The one from the bottom is going to be at 6.5 inches. And this one we're going to tie in the center, just like this, in the center of our ruler. And I'm going to point it up. The pipe cleaner on top is going to be at 14.5 inches. And at the center to twist, and we're going to point it up. You could leave it like this. You could give it a little bit of hot glue. That is up to you. I sometimes do it right where I twisted it, right in the middle of these guys. A little bit of hot glue right here. When it comes to this bottom double, it doesn't matter if you hot glue any of these. This one needs to be hot glued just because this part of the ruler is straight. And I've never had this happen to me because I did take precautions, but it could potentially slide. When that happens, it's going to just mess up your whole swag. So here is what I'm going to do. I don't mess around. We're going to give it lots of hot glue going straight across our pipe cleaners. And yup, I am going to grab a little bit of scrap felt and I'm going to put it right over. For the Deco mesh, I'm going to layer 3 of these rolls and I'm going to do orange, then the multicolor, and then the orange. So the first thing you want to do is pick the worst Deco mesh and put that at the bottom. It will hide the imperfections a lot better. So starting with my worst one, then on top is the multicolor one, and then the nice orange roll. First things first, let's gather our Deco mesh about 2.5 inches in. I'm going to collect. You can start at the bottom or the top. I tend to always start at the top. So I'm just going to go in. My tail is going towards the inside so that we can hide it. And we're going to do 2 really tight twists. For this part, you can measure, you can not measure, it's up to you. I'm going to be focusing on making 12-inch loops because my sign is 8 inches. So I do want the Deco mesh to be shown on the sides. There's my 12 inches and I'm going to make a loop at the top and twist. Don't worry that this is shown. We're going to cover that part later. At this point, I'm just going to continue making 12-inch loops or bigger, maybe 12 to 14 on the sides. I'm going to add a little bit. Then I'm going to do 12 at the top. You don't need more than 12 at the top, that's for sure, because then it'll be just too big, too much, and it's going to have too big of a hole to cover this. So we're just going to do that. At this point, I'm connecting my loops only to the doubles going around. So at the top, to the center, to the bottom on the other side, center, and top. And we made it all the way around. Now I'm going to cover this area right here by making a 10-inch loop, and I'm going to connect it to the other side of the double. So this will help us cover this area at the top. My sign is going to cover this area right here. So I'm going to make another 10-inch loop, and now I'm going to go to the center pipe cleaner. As you can see, this part is covered. We're going to fix it later. If you are using this as a centerpiece, definitely make a loop right here. I'm not, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight through and then tie it to the second single. And this is where I'm going to make those 2 10-inch loops. And now I'm going to go, you can go to either side, to one of the sides, tie it in, another 10-inch loop, and you're going to go to the other side. At this point, I have all the Deco mesh I need, but since we do have some left, what I like to do is I'm going to get rid of one of them, and in this case, I'm going to get rid of the one because it's not going to help me in any way. I cut it off about 4 inches, fold it back in, give this pipe cleaner a little bit of a twist, so I lock that in. One of the orange ones I'm going to attach to the other side, and then we can make extra loops. You don't have to do this part. This is just because I don't like to waste, because what am I gonna do? I'm just going to throw it away. So why not make extra loops? I'm just going to use one to go this way, the other go that way. And that way you can just not worry about it. Make extra loops like this. Look how beautiful that is. Not measuring at all. Just looking at my roll and seeing what I can get away with. Now I'm going to mirror and do the other side. I decided I'm going to give it a go and do 2 more going the other way. And just do this until you run out of the Deco mesh. I'm going to just make more, and it's going to make for a fuller wreath. When you come to the end, don't just attach it with the tail going out. Twist it underneath so that you can attach the tail, and the tail is going towards the inside. And this one is taken care of. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Our base is done. Now we're going to fluff it out, open it up. We're going to have some of this multicolor show up here and there. That's going to be very pretty. I'm done opening up all my loops. I'm just trying to show you from the side how fluffy it is. Look at all of this. This is going to be flat. This is so beautiful. And this is even before the ribbon. So the next thing we're going to do is cut the ribbon and attach. For the ribbon, I'm going to be cutting both of these rolls into 12-inch strips, and I'm going to need 6 each. I already did my plaid one, and after zigzagging it, I'm going to fold the sides and cut the little corner, and we have our ribbon. Now, same thing with this mesh ribbon. To do my ribbon bundles, I'm going to do the center ones first. 1 plaid, 1 mesh ribbon. This one I'm going to put on top. We're going to fold it in half to find our center. Collect it in the middle, and we're going to make a little V for these because we're going to have the sign, and I want to make sure that we can see the ribbon. So twist, twist. And at this point, I'm pretty much done attaching. So I'm just going to finish twisting this and just fold it in. No one's going to see that tail. Same thing on the other side. Find my center, gather it. And now I'm going to find my center once more. And we're going to do regular type of bundles. Just putting one on top of the other, attaching, and I'm going to hide it behind one of the ribbon. And when you do that, if you're using mesh ribbon like I'm using here, make sure that the non-mesh ribbon is going to the corners because that's the part that's kind of empty on the sides here. Let's go to our next one. I'm telling you guys, this wreath, it looks complicated, but it's not. You just keep on looping and looping and looping until you're done with your Deco mesh. And then you make simple ribbon pieces. And look how much ribbon I'm using. Not that much, which means we're saving on ribbon. We saved on the base itself because it was just a stir stick. I did use the Dollar Tree Deco mesh, but I also use 10-inch Deco mesh on these wreaths, and they also come out gorgeous and full. You just use how much you want, and depending on the thickness of the mesh, if you want to use 2, or you can get away with using just 1 roll of 10-inch Deco mesh. Maybe I'll insert another one of these swags in the description box below so you have an idea just in case you want to use 10-inch Deco mesh instead of the 6 that I'm using from the Dollar Tree. Look at this, not bad. And if you were making this a centerpiece, remember this part where I went flat, you could have just floofed it up from the single to single. It would have filled this area up, and then you just maybe separate the Deco mesh and put a candle in there or a vase or something. This would be so beautiful. Let's attach the pipe cleaners to our sign. First, I'm going to take this jute cord out, and I decided to attach the pipe cleaners in 3 places: top, middle, and bottom. First, I'm going to take my pipe cleaners, fold them in half, and make a little flat area just like this right in the center of the pipe cleaners so that we can put them on there nicely. A little bit of hot glue. Put your pipe cleaner right on top, and then we're going to put some hot glue right across, going up and down. Grabbing a piece of felt, we're going to put it right over, and that's it. Just like this. Now that the back is dry, I'm just going to put everything flat and flip it. First, remove this thing. To make a little bow right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 bunny ears. Bunny ear 1, bunny ear 2, and make a little knot with them. Don't make it tight. so that you can go back and forth until it looks beautiful to you, or until it's the size you want it to be. Now a little bit of hot glue. I'm going to cut the tails on a little angle. And then I have this little shimmery button. I thought it would work well because of all the glitter that's going on here, but you can definitely use a simple button. I'm just going to put some hot glue and right in the center of our bow. How cute is that? I could have left it out, but there was some hot glue left on there, so I wanted to take care of that. The last thing I'm going to do to the sign is I found a sweet little sunflower, and I'm going to just cut the little tail off. But we do need to make sure we hot glue if we cut it off. We're going to give it a heap of a lot of hot glue right there. So all of that is sealed in, and I'm going to put it over the sunflower in the sign. And that's just going to bring our sign to life a little bit. This is just an extra step. You don't have to do that, obviously. And now I'm ready to put the sign on. First thing I'm going to do is make sure my hook is right there. So I'm going to put the sign in this way. Make sure I have that in the center. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the center pipe cleaner, twist it in place in the back. If you're going to sell this or gift this, definitely just grab a piece of ribbon or anything you have on hand. Just think of how pretty it would look with the same ribbon you used. Hot glue it right in, and it's going to have a very clean and beautiful look. And don't forget, when you're putting on whatever you're going to put on to hide it, stop at your hook and then add a little piece to the top. Now it's time to add the last embellishment, which is these leaves. To make a fuller one, I'll take the leaves off of one, add it to another, and now you have kind of like a fuller look. And this one, you can hot glue it. I'm going to temporarily put it in place. But if you're using it in a centerpiece, you do not have to do that. You can just put it in and that's it. It'll stay like that. Because the Deco mesh, if you wiggle it in, it'll hold it in place. I have 4 more pieces, and since the rest of them don't have these, I'm just going to use the leaves, wiggling them in on the sides right into the Deco mesh, kind of like weaving them in so they'll stay in place. Now I'm just going to make sure my ribbon bundles are beautifully laid out, and we are all done with this swag wreath or centerpiece. What did you guys think of the wreath? I love those beautiful warm fall colors. I love the way it turned out, and I hope you do too. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried a stir stick wreath. And if you have, what kind of wreath did you do? What kind of season? You know, what was your theme? But if not, just say hello to me. You guys know I love chatting with you guys. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, everyone. We say bye. Oh, look who's up. Bye, guys. Mwah!